What's up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today we got the info of a new celestial hero appearing in AFK Journey. He's going to be the next hero, well, not the next hero in this season, but the next celestial hypergen hero in this season, and his name is Baelran. And well, if we take a look, well, probably he's going to be released at the start of the next season phase. We have 17 days left in this season phase. It's going to be the next one. Would kind of be fitting for him to be released there. Last season we got 3 celestial hypergen heroes. I reckon they're just going to make one for the start of every single phase. At least that's what kind of makes sense to me. It's not confirmed yet, but let's take a look at that picture first. So this guy is called Baelran. He's a celestial hero, he's a warrior. S tier, of course, probably resides in Ironhold Bay, at least that's what it says there, which is the area of the Dwarven village, by the way. This was where we was at the beginning of the video, and I had to laugh a little bit again at his attributes, because usually it's like tough or something. He's just like happily retired, kind-hearted, rich, and living the dream. Especially at rich, I just had to laugh. He's just like rich. It's one of his main attributes. If you had to say 4 things about him, one of which is rich. So that I thought was pretty cool. Arrival of Kulu, and to that extent I have to say I was a little bit confused by that, because throughout all of the story we really didn't interact too much with the celestial and hypergen heroes this time. At some point I expected Kulu to make a bombastic appearance, bomb something away and just appear there and be a menace, but really didn't happen at all. So I was a bit surprised by that. Now we get to see Baelran. I don't know if he was an AFK arena hero. Some of them are. I googled a little bit for it. Doesn't seem to be the case. So there was really no info on him out there. But I thought, okay, let's take a look and let's kind of see which warriors we have, because this is like his class. And I took a little bit of a peek in game at the warriors currently in existence. And the quickest way for us to do this is just go into the hero collection, and there we can just filter by warrior, and this will show us all of the warriors that are in the game. And I mean, we do have Natsu now, which I kind of forgot that he's a warrior if I'm honest. But if we take a look at those heroes, nearly all of them fit like the melee-ish kind of way. Most of them are damage dealers to an extent. For example, Wraec we have there, Sonya. Certainly we have Weyland as a damage dealer, even though he's not a good one. Natsu, Hodgkin as well, Valka, Kafra, I mean, is definitely the strongest out of the bunch. If you haven't seen the videos I made about him, you definitely should check them out, by the way. And there are some outcasts to an extent. I mean, Scalita, once she's down on the earth, she's certainly a damage dealer, and she's certainly a melee hero, and she's certainly an absolute menace. But in the air, mostly a support hero. And then, of course, we do have Flora, where I really thought, like, is that even a warrior? She really doesn't fit that theme. The little minions, of course, yeah, some melee minions in there, one with bow and everything, okay, I can see those being warriors, but herself, more of a summoner really in that extent. And I would have probably set her to be a mage, I reckon. And then there is Igor. Igor isn't like this straightforward, isn't as straightforward as the other heroes, so that makes him a bit of an outcast in that extent. I would have set him as like a ranger or something. Like that would have made a little bit more sense for me to fit him, probably with those heroes. They're a little bit more like the same type, I reckon. So makes him a little bit of an outcast, but kind of the idea in just looking at those heroes makes me think we are probably going to get a melee type hero. It's probably not going to be a support hero, damage oriented, and in terms of celestial and hypergen heroes, if we compare them, we have Scalita, we have Wraec, maybe something in the direction of Wraec as a celestial could be cool. I mean, Wraec had the whole being a shark, eating things, getting stronger theme, so we have to see what the theme is going to be for Baelran. Will be a little bit tough. We don't have the info on him yet. But that is kind of what I'm expecting. So what am I hoping for? Maybe that is a different question to ask. Well, in the entire realm of heroes that we get as Celestial and Hypergen, then we mostly have, well, the heroes that are for PvP, which are mostly something for whales, like Cryonaya, for example. You don't really need a Cryonaya for the most part. If you have a copy, of course, it's nice, but Cryonaya is mainly a PvP hero. Same for Dyna, then a little bit niche heroes like Burial here, for example, whose frame there looked very weird somehow. No idea what happened here. those are kind of the heroes that most free-to-play and low spenders tend to skip, just because with 3 heroes each season, it's really hard to prep even when you are away. And thus, they kind of skip those and tend to go for heroes that are a little bit more worthy for PvP. For PvE, sorry. And then we have something like Rainier. We certainly do have something like Twins, more of the supportish type, and then the straight up damage dealers. That was like Teline, definitely Harak, and for very, very long time actually Fresto. Fresto just being 2 units essentially and dealing massive true damage overall. Was an absolute menace in PvE and a long-standing hero there, essentially coming back every single season in Dream Realm, especially towards the end of it, and just being meta overall. So what I'm kind of expecting, or personally hoping for, is that there is a replacement for him. Because mine is just Supreme Plus. It's a very selfish wish I have to say overall. Most people are hoping for another PvP unit. A unit that you can just say, okay, I can mostly skip that. There will be some new uses, of course. You see uses for Thalia, for example, also in Durastral. But for the most part, you can skip her if you don't intend to use her for PvP. So in that regard, most people are probably hoping for that. I kind of hope for the Fresto replacement. I mean, if you think about it, for most damage dealers, they haven't lasted nearly as long as Mr. Fresto over here. Fresto is a Season 1 release. He was the end boss of Season 1 and was released at that time to an absolute glorious trailer, by the way. If you haven't seen the Fresto trailer, that is my favorite character trailer that we had in this game. And I encourage you to check it out because it's really, really, really cool. And since then, he has been meta. So I kind of reckon that if not Baelran, then maybe the one afterwards will replace Fresto. It has to happen at some point. At some point, power scaling has to creep up to this guy. He's mostly been that immune to the power scaling just because we had this very unique 2-unit mechanic there. Of 2 units separately being able to ult, which in many occasions has like a positive outcome. For example, Star Shard spell, then we suddenly have 2 heroes that can ult separately from each other. Twins haven't had quite the same effect because they essentially ult together, so it's 1 ult, not 2 ults. For Fresto, it's 2 ults, so that is crazy already. And now we're kind of seeing Baelran, and I kind of think that he or the hero afterwards might be the Fresto replacement. So that is a little bit crazy. I don't know. What do you think about this? It's a theory. I can't really say more about this. We have to wait for the release after all. And release is a nice topic because if we take a look at the stellar crystals I currently own, I'm a bit worried. I'll be honest. 232. It's not too great. We only summoned Kulu to like Paragon 1. So I didn't really go insanely into her. But I had to say, in the end of the last season, really the amount of stellar crystal packs, especially the Popup Packs, was super limited. So there wasn't really much going on there. So I was low. I played for a long time, but I still was low in terms of like stellar crystals, which is such a weird thing that always happens towards the end of the season. I hope they fix this now with like the third season phase, that they kind of have the Popup Pack set for that. And why I'm so happy about Popup Packs? Well, I'm not really happy about Popup Packs. But the thing is, there are different values that you can spend for stellar crystals in this game. And for this video, I thought, okay, let's take a look. We already talked about like the free-to-play and the low spender perspective a little bit. To that extent, I mean, of course, you kind of want to save up your guild store. You kind of want to save up the guild medals for this. I think that is like a no-brainer at this point. I wouldn't spend any more at this point, but just wait for the hero, check him out, check out my live stream that I'm probably going to do on him, check out the videos we do, the review, and then get to see if he's like the new one, new hero coming up, or if that is like just another PvP hero that you can maybe skip, or maybe see if he's bad at all. That could happen as well. But for low spenders and whales, I kind of thought, well, it is always confusing when you enter like the trolley and you see all of those bundles, and then you see like, oh, there are some that have like stellar crystals in there, to compare them. So what I thought was, let's kind of rank them and go through them, and let's really see what the value is if the only thing you want from them is stellar crystals. So I will always just ignore all the other stuff in those packs, which, I mean, for some packs you can see it's like 20 temporal essence in here. That can be a little bit of a misinterpretation of those, or a misrepresentation. But I thought it would be kind of interesting and could shift another light on those packs compared to when you usually just look at them. So, first of all, what is the best pack in my opinion to go for that? Well, obviously the pre-order pack. Pre-order pack has insane value. You spend a very low amount and look at how many stellar crystals you get in that. On top of, I mean, of course, all the other loot. This is the absolute insane pack. 4000% for a reason. And this is not unexpected. The next one, of course, being a noble path. And there we have the Fabled Road. And in the Fabled Road, the basic path here, the secret track gives you 10 stellar crystals for €8 I have here, which would translate to roughly 200 dragon crystals, which is 20 dragon crystals per stellar crystal, so an absolutely great rate. The next one, and that is one that I still have open here, and we have to kind of quickly act because it's up down in 6 minutes, so I'm very happy we reached this point in this video, is a Popup Pack. And I have a Stargaze Station Popup Pack randomly in this video, which is absolutely gorgeous. 800% value, it says. And really the good thing about this pack is it mainly features stellar crystals. So you don't really have a whole lot of other loot. In there you have some gems, which is pretty cool because now I can get more diamond copies. Shout out to Zakis for always making fun of me for having no gems. And those offer 65 dragon crystals for a price of 65 stellar crystals for a price of 2,500 dragon crystals. And that brings it to 38.46 dragon crystals per stellar crystals, which is a really good rate. And thus we are of course going to buy it right now. This one was for 2,300 season milestone points. I want to kind of tell you a little bit about Popup Packs. Well, Popup Packs in this season once again seem to drop from the AFK stages. They seem a little bit further apart. That being said, we do have a lot more season stages in this season. I think towards the end of the last season, was it like stage 2000 or something, or 3000? We end on 900 this time, and this was the first phase, and then of course went into infinite stages. You can see the number one person here is at 716, so essentially clearing 1600 stages right here. If he does that 3 times, that would be 4800, so a lot more stages. And there are Popup Packs in those. At 400, at infinite stage 400 for example, there was another stellar crystal Popup Pack, and thus you really want to go into those infinite stages as well, farm them a little bit. One thing that many people miss is there is a buff going on. I don't know if it's listed here, but it is certainly in the explanation of those infinite stages that makes it easier every single day to go through those stages. I don't know if they listed it somewhere here, but it's definitely there. So that's something to do, and you can just like auto battle it a little bit. If you happen to miss a pack, one thing that also some people don't know is you can always go into others, support, click the little button over here, and then this will bring you to a very helpful menu. Very cool, the recruitment history, where you can check out which heroes you summoned in there and can give a little bit of rate. So for example, if we then summon for the new Celestial hero and did this, then we can check out how many copies we got, how many stellar crystals we spent. But you also have the bundle reload here, and every single month you get 100 activity points. At the start of the month, refreshing a pack costs you 20 activity points, and you can see all the packs that you missed in recent times. You can see there are a lot of exclusive equipment bundles that I didn't buy, some epic recruitment bundles, because this season I don't feel like doing those. And I also missed the Stargaze Station bundle. And if you refresh those, it will say, okay, you want to spend the 20 activity points? Yes, I want to. And then it will load a little bit, and then it will tell you, okay, submitted, please view in game. And the first thing you notice is there is no pack over here. We can open a menu. Usually they don't appear until you restart the game. And let's just do that quickly. And bam, just restarted. You can see the pack is now here. It usually doesn't pop up really. Oh, this time it does. And this one was for Season AFK Infinite Stage 400. So we're going to buy this one as well. As I said, those are basically the best packs that you can buy. And if you want to prepare for that, you should make sure that your refresh stuff and everything is all set up. Well, this is fancy. Okay, can we get out of this? Okay, no. So if you want to spend on those, make sure you have no pop-up packs left before you go into any other packs beyond that. And also make sure that you can't refresh any. So 38.46 per Stellar Crystal. That is the price that we have in the pop-up packs. What's the next best thing? Well, then we have to go into the trolley. And in the trolley, we have multiple different choices. One of them being the Stargaze Limited Bundle. Today, this is still available for Kulu. I assume they will do the same for Baelran. And thus we can kind of compare the packs, because very, very likely so, those packs will be the same. The good one in those packs is always the first one. That stays true for like all of them, even like Diamond Limited Bundles and everything. The first one has higher value, except for this one. Keep that in mind. There is the first one has the same value. This one offers you 15 Stellar Crystals for the price of 700. So essentially 46.67 Dragon Crystals per Stellar Crystal. So this pack is very well worth it compared to the other ones. Next up being actually the Stargaze Limited Bundle 3. Here in the Kulu Limited Bundles, we have the 65 Dragon Crystals for 3,250 Dragon Crystals, meaning it costs us 50 Dragon Crystals per Stellar Crystal in this pack. So not bad. The last one actually better than the middle one, which is kind of interesting. Then comes the next surprise. Then we don't go to the middle one, we go into the limited bundles. And in the limited bundles, all the way down, we see the Stargaze Station Bundle. The bi-weekly Stargaze Station Bundle offers you 20 Stellar Crystals for 1,120 Dragon Crystals, which ends up being 56 Dragon Crystals per Stellar Crystal. So this is the next best one, which surprised me quite a lot, that we had like these Stargaze Limited Bundle 1 and 3, but then the bi-weekly one is actually better. So that I thought was kind of insane. So then we have two packs that actually have the same value essentially. And those are, well, can we check this out a little bit better? Yeah. This is a little bit better. Those are the Stargaze Limited Bundle 2 and the Limited Select Bundle 3. And those are fairly similar, because we have also in this first box, we can go for a copy. The copy, of course, has a little bit higher value, because usually, I mean, if you pity timer, you need 40 Stellar Crystals to get a copy of Athalia. So you can get a copy of Athalia, probably will be better than getting the Stellar Crystals. So this chest is essentially better than Stellar Crystals in that sense, if you need one of those heroes. If you go for the Stellar Crystals, it is comparable. You can see 30 Stellar Crystals, 30 Stellar Crystals, and then the second chest, we have 30 Temporal Essence versus 20 Temporal Essence. So this is a little bit higher value actually for the same price, but it still is the same amount of Stellar Crystals, so it comes out actually to 30 Stellar Crystals at the price of 1,750 Dragon Crystals, which is 58.33 Dragon Crystals per Stellar Crystal. So that makes, that is like the list for this. I will give you my write-down, which is not very nice actually, but I will still show it to you at the end of the video once we've gone through the packs. So don't worry, you don't have to like write this down. Then was a surprise for me, because I really expected this one to be next. But no, it's actually not this one. We have to scroll down a whole lot further into the weekly bundles. And there we have the Stargaze Station Bundle 1 and 2. Those are both the same packs essentially. 45 Dragon Crystals, 45 Stellar Crystals, 3,000 Dragon Crystals the cost for this. And this costs us 66.67 Dragon Crystals per Stellar Crystal, which is not super insane. It's not super great, actually. But there are far worse options in there. And I want to warn you a little bit about those far worse options. So going back into the limited bundles to the top, we see this Select Recruit bundle. This is actually next. This is not a bad pack. This is not a bad pack, but this pack performs very badly if we just want to go for Stellar Crystals. So if you just want Stellar Crystals, this is not a great pack, because you get 20 Dragon Crystals, 20 Stellar Crystals for 1,500 Dragon Crystals, which ends up being 75 Dragon Crystals per Stellar Crystal. So this is not good. Of course, here you also have like a pretty substantial amount of temporal essence. You could go for the Stone, so it's not that bad. It's not really a bad pack. It's 650, but it's interesting to see that we have this 650% pack here, and the price per stellar crystals actually higher than on this 500% value pack. So really, it all comes down to what you really want. And if you are like in a situation where you want to summon for Baelran and you're really only looking for those stellar crystals, then you want to go for those weekly ones actually before you go for the select bundle. And then of course the last one that you should never buy. I really can't stretch it enough. Better to live with like a Mythic Plus or like only an epic Baelran than buying this, because this is the Stargaze Station bundle. This has no limit. It has a value of 250% that is written down here. It's 20 stellar crystals for 3000 dragon crystals. So that meaning we pay 150 dragon crystals per stellar crystal, which is insane. And I want you to make this a little bit more clear. Essentially, 3000 dragon crystals are 100 USD, unless you buy through Lootbar, which is a whole lot cheaper, and the sponsor of this video, which we'll check out in a second. But still not worth it for this one, in this case. In all other cases, definitely worth it, but in this case, it's not worth it. So, if you buy this, you basically spend 100 USD, let's just say it like that, for 20 stellar crystals. And then, if you want to summon a copy, then it's basically you need 2 of those packs per copy if you pity timer. So you spend 200 USD per copy. And with that, this was also our last pack, by the way. As I said, I will show the list at the end of the video. And we have to talk a little bit about copies as well, because with that we come to the copy. How many copies do we need for a Supreme Plus? Well, a Supreme Plus hero of a Celestial or a Hypogean needs 14 copies. So now you can calculate, well, 14 times 200 is a whole lot of money. It's 2,800 USD. If you want to pay that for Supreme Plus Hero, go ahead. Otherwise, I reckon you want to go for the other packs. And if you run out of those other packs, then, well, you kind of have to find out where your threshold really is. For free-to-play, there is no spending at all. For low spender, the threshold might be at buying the pre-order bundle and the Fabled Road. For mid-spender, probably the Popup Packs. Maybe a little bit more if you are like a higher end mid spender, then maybe the Stargaze limited bundles as well. And then if you are really in the area of whales, they probably will buy the rest of it, but I wouldn't never recommend going into the permanent bundle. So 14 copies for Fresto, already very much so a lot. This means on average we will need like 420 to 560 stellar crystals, which is quite a lot actually if we want to go through that. So if we buy this through Popup Packs is 65 stellar crystals, so we need around 6.5 Popup Packs to do that, which is a little bit more. I reckon we didn't have that many, so we probably will need to get some copies through Guild. If you want to go for a higher levels, I mean, we do have some Celestial Hypogean at Paragon 1, we do have Paragon 2, we do have Paragon 3, we even have Crown. For P1, it's 18 copies. For P2, it is 22, and then it starts getting more expensive. You could see for P1 it was an extra 4 copies, for P2 an extra 4 copies, as you can see right here, and then suddenly we need 6. So for P3 you need an extra 6 copies, so in total 28. And then for P4, which I don't have a P... Oh, I do have. Wait, I do have a P3 unit. There we go. For P4 that would be 34 copies, and at that point it starts becoming really expensive. We did this once. We summoned Cryonia actually at P4, where we had a very generous season of a lot of Popup Packs, I think, before, and basically spent all of those Popup Packs on this, because we spent roughly 1,200 stellar crystals. With granted, not the best luck, but yeah, that can happen to you too. So 1,200 stellar crystals there is kind of a madness. And of course, I am right now pretty far away. We have still a few dragon crystals up ahead. There will be, of course, one pack that you can buy as soon as you reach Legendary Plus. And this pack is usually also very much so worth it to buy, because you get like a copy of the hero and usually like 20 stellar crystals. So that is a pretty good pack, 2,500 there as well. In terms of like the value per stellar crystals, but overall, because you get the copy, you of course save on stellar crystals. So right now I have like 362. We'll probably be able to go for Supreme Plus, but going beyond that, actually kind of tough, and would probably require me to check out the Trolley a little bit more. Okay, because this was like a little bit of a long walk through all of those packs. Here's the write down as well. It's just like the notes that I took for this. You can always see it's like the fabled roads, the amount of stellar crystals, then there's the price, and then we have the price, the stellar crystal price per, no, the dragon crystals per stellar crystal. So it's 20 dragon crystals for 1 stellar crystal in this pack, and you can see the cheap packs are on top, and the more expensive it goes out down there, and then there's also the copies over here. So just my write down for that. If you want to have this, of course, all a little bit cheaper, there is a way to do so. And that is, of course, our sponsor, Lootbar. If you check out Lootbar through the link down in the description, create an account, you will get an 8% and a 12% discount coupon as long as this promotion is up. And I'm pretty sure they will run a promotion for the release of Baelran as well, because this is always something they do. Try to support the community a little bit, make good business, of course, as well at the same time. But we profit from it because they offer the best prices for dragon crystals out there and have pretty great service overall as well. A whole lot of people already registered through the link, and as far as I have heard, they are all very happy, so I am happy with that as well. And if you register through the link down below, you will probably, I reckon, yeah, I think they told me that we will get a 3% discount coupon as well. So we might get that as well. I can't promise, but I will make sure we will get this for the release of Baelran. I will try my very best. We'll see about that. So thanks everybody for watching. Tell me what you think about Baelran. Are you going to summon for him? Are you one of the people that hope that he's kind of like, well, not the best hero? I mean, we already see him like there with these swords, a really warrior type hero, I guess. Do you reckon he's going to be good? Are you just hyped for him? I'm kind of hyped. I don't know why. For Celestial Hero, usually the hypogens have been a little bit better in the past. But I'm still hyped, so we'll see. With that, I wish you a great day. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll see us in the next one.